this offseason for the Carolina Panthers has been busy. The Athletic, though, had an article about all of the different free agent moves that the NFL teams have done. They were just kind of going through what each team has done, and I'm reading it, and I'm going, wait a second. I think the Carolina Panthers have not only made the best free agent moves this offseason, but they've also traded for the number 1 overall pick. And I don't know what they're going to do with the number 1 overall pick. I don't know how C.J. Stroud potentially plays out. But I think if you're David Tepper, and these things are important to David Tepper, I think he should hang a offseason champions 2023 banner.
I mean,
because who's had a better offseason than the Panthers?
No, I mean, we were looking through this. I think the Lions come close. The Lions have had a very good offseason as well. But like, to me, a good offseason is all about making the right moves, investing accordingly, and tiptoeing that line between being aggressive and being like the Eagles back in like the 2010s when like they, I think it was Vince Young,
thought they had the dream team.
Yeah. So finding that balance, and I mean, this is only a part of the offseason. You still have the draft, but I think they've handled about free agency about as well as they could have.
Yeah, in free agency, here's what the Panthers have done. They added tight end Hayden Hurst, who I really, really like. Running back Miles Sanders, and you're thinking to yourself, well, they had good running backs last year. They did, but Sanders ran for 1,200 yards last year. Like he is not one of these guys who's washed up and ready to go through the NFL churn of the running back cycle. Receiver DJ Chark, who put up some big years in Jacksonville, and then receiver Adam Thielen. Thielen's probably past his prime.
Yeah,
if
injury
you will.
issues too.
There's been some injury, but as a second guy or even a third guy, I kind of love that as an option for who I think will be Stroud. Then, of course, they traded up to get the number 1 pick. So I think we could even go back another step, Lewis, and say by hiring Frank Reich, the staff that Frank Reich has put together,
yeah,
the Panthers have made all of the right moves. Now, I didn't agree with the cost that they gave up to get the number 1 pick, and that actually leads me to the other team who I think is actually having a really good offseason, and that's the Chicago Bears.
Well, I mean, they had the number 1 pick initially, so there's only one way they could have gone.
I agree, but you could still mess it up. The Bears have spent $70 million on their defense, including signing linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, who I think is outstanding. Yes, they gave up the number 1 pick, but they still have a top 10 pick at number 9, and they got DJ Moore, who I think will help Justin Fields. And I think you can make an argument that the Bears are right there with the Panthers in having a really great offseason.
The Bears had pieces. The Bears had pieces already. You have Justin Fields, right?
So they had the quarterback piece.
Exactly, which is, I mean, that's half the battle.
Kind of need that piece.
Yeah, it's pretty important. But then they bulk up that offensive line a little bit. They get DJ Moore. Like, I love Darnell Mooney. I think he's a fantastic receiver on the Bears, but he needed someone opposite him to help. I think my one issue that I would have for teams like the Bears, teams like the Panthers, I think this is just where the salary cap is going and everything. You're going to ultimately end up overpaying some people. I think there are a couple of players who are like Tremaine Edmonds, I also think is great, but that's a lot of money to invest in a linebacker. Sure. I like Hayden Hurst and Von Bell a lot for the Panthers. They were 2 Bengals. I'm a Bengals guy. If you're watching on Sports Plus, you can see my Bengals sticker on my laptop.
We're about to get to them. Don't worry.
Oh, good. But I will say that they are a little bit older. There are some injury concerns with Hurst. But that ultimately, like, that's any free agency. You're going to have to deal with that kind of stuff. Every move can't be perfect.